Guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video in the UK first time home buyer series on this channel. And today I'm going to be answering Z's question. So Z left a question on my channel asking if I can make a video on other home expenses that you need to pay for aside paying for mortgage, like electricity, water, and so on. And that's exactly what we are going to be addressing in today's video. So let's get right onto it. Buying a house in the UK might seem straightforward. Find your dream home, secure a mortgage, and get the keys, right? But what if I told you there's a whole world of hidden costs lurking beneath the surface? From unexpected fees to sneaky expenses that can blow up your budget. Today, we are uncovering the true cost of buying a home in the UK. So stick around to save yourself from any nasty surprises. For the purpose of this video, I have segmented the other costs that you will be incurring into 4 parts. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone in order to get my points together. So there are a lot of hidden costs which you need to be aware of, and I have segmented them into upfront costs, ongoing costs, one-time and periodic costs, and then the other hidden costs. So let's start with the upfront costs. So the upfront costs are the costs that you will incur before getting your keys. Usually this includes stamp duty. So basically, stamp duty is the government's tax on property purchases. The rate depends on the property's price and your status as a home buyer. Usually first-time home buyers are exempted from paying stamp duty, especially if the price of their house is capped at a particular price. Another upfront cost that you need to be aware of is the solicitor or conveyancer fees. This is the fee paid to a legal professional to handle your property's paperwork, land registration, and so on, in order to ensure that everything is above board. And this price can range between £800 and £1,500 depending on the conveyancer company or the solicitor that you are using. I've seen a lot of comments from my previous videos asking for details of the conveyancer or solicitors that I have used in the past. My advice is this: the UK solicitors or conveyancers have a union, so to say, and they've got a website, and on this website you can find the list of the approved solicitors and conveyancers that can help you when purchasing your property. So I'm going to be leaving the link to that in the description box below, so make sure that you check it out. Another upfront cost is the surveyor's fees. So the surveyor gets the property checked before you buy it, and they flag potential problems such as dams or structural issues. A pro tip here is, even if you are buying a new build house, it is worth doing a snagging survey. Sometimes the lender does this survey. However, if the lender doesn't do it, or you want to carry out your own, then you need to reach out to a surveyor, and you need to make sure that you have this in place before finalizing the purchase of that property. The surveyor fees ranges from £250 to £1,000 and above, depending on the type of survey that you want to do. There are also different types of surveys, and I went in depth into this in this particular video. I'll also be leaving it in the description box below, so you can check it out after watching this one. Another upfront cost that you need to be aware of is the mortgage arrangement fees. So some lenders charge this for setting up your loan. So it is good to always ask and confirm with your mortgage advisor and your lender if this fee is chargeable and if you need to pay it upfront or it can be added to your mortgage. Range is between £500 and £2,000. The next upfront cost on my list is deposit. Of course, everybody knows about deposit, and it is not really hidden because it's out there, and you know that you need a deposit before you buy any house in the United Kingdom. Now, this deposit ranges from 5% to 20-25% of the property's costs, and it also depends on whether the house you want to buy is an old build or a new build. A good tip here is to use any of the available government schemes to reduce the amount of deposits that you're going to be paying on your property. And the next upfront cost that I have is removal costs. So this is the cost of moving from your current home to your future home. So whether you are hiring a professional or you are renting a van, you really need to factor this into your budget. And it can cost between £50 to £1,000 or even more, depending on the distance between your current house and your future house, whether they are in the same city or a different city, the number of miles they are apart, and the things that you will actually be moving. So it is worth searching around for movers in your area and compare costs. Now that that is out of the way, let's go on to the next segment, and these are the ongoing costs. So the first ongoing cost on my list is council tax. Council tax is usually based on your home valuations band. It is worth checking the local council in which your new house will be under and checking for the different tax bands and the prices attached to them. So this will help you to have an idea of how much you'll be paying in council tax. This is very, very important, and it will help you plan for the future by the time you move into your new home. And if you will be the only adult living in that house, you should take advantage of the 25% discount that is usually given out by your local council so that your council tax is reduced. Another ongoing cost is home insurance. So there is building insurance and there is content insurance. Building insurance protects your home structure and it is often required by lenders. So lenders will usually want you to get on the building insurance scheme before they approve your home buying loan. Whereas content insurance covers your belongings and the things that you have in your home. Although content insurance is optional, I will say it is as important as building insurance. So if you can, try and do both. And the cost range between £150 to £500 annually. There might actually be some insurance that will be much more higher than that, but within that range you should see a building and content insurance that will cater for your needs. Another ongoing cost that you need to factor in are the utility bills. Gas, electricity, and water bills can really add up, and it is worth doing some research about the prices of gas, electricity, and water in the area that you are moving into before you purchase the house. This will give you an idea of how much to expect when planning for gas, electricity, and water. You can use comparison sites like Compare the Market or switch.com. There are different sites actually where you can compare the rates of different utility bills in your area, and there are some providers that offer a bundle deal. This also helps you to cut costs, so it is worth researching and going for the best deal. Another ongoing cost is service charges and ground rent. This is only applicable to people who buy a house on leasehold. So let's say you are buying a house on leasehold for 80 years or for the next 150 years or for the next 99 years. There usually is a ground fee and service charge. Make sure that you ask questions about this before finalizing the purchase of your leasehold. The cost of this can range between £50 to £500 annually. Another ongoing cost that we should not overlook is maintenance costs. Maintenance cost is for things like emergency repairs or unexpected repairs like gas leak or tap leaks, or emergency fixes like boiler breakdown. So it's good to have some emergency fund set aside mainly for maintenance costs in order to cover this just in case they happen. Now let's move on to the next segment, and in this next segment I'm going to be talking about the one-time and periodic costs of having your own home in the UK. The first in this segment is furnishing and decorating. Many of the people who buy their first home usually want to move into the house with a new set of furnitures, decorating it to their taste and things like that. So it's important for you to allocate a particular amount for that. Now take for example myself. When I was moving into my own house, I did not have to buy many furnitures because I already did. So about a year prior, I had moved into an unfurnished apartment. Usually the apartments that I've lived in the UK are furnished. However, This last one was unfurnished, so I had to buy a lot of things. I had to buy a set of sofa, I had to buy a coffee table, I had to buy bed, I had to buy a bed frame, I had to buy a TV table, and a host of other things. So a year after, while I was moving into my own house, I didn't need to buy any of these furnitures again, because I just bought them like a year ago and they were practically still new. However, if this is your first time of moving into an unfurnished apartment, like your own new house, you need to make arrangements for furnitures and decorating your home. Honestly, there's really no price range for this, because it depends on your preference. It depends on how you want your house, your home to look like, the kind of furnitures you want, the kind of decorations that you want. So I won't be putting a cap on the amount of money that you'll be spending on this. But for yourself, just go online, research about, how much a sofa is. Maybe you've seen a sofa that you love. Look at it. How much are they selling it? Or you love this decoration, you would like to have it in your home. How much are they selling it? So list all of those and their prices, and then this will give you an idea of how much you are looking at spending for furnitures and decorating your home. And with furnishing and decorating, one thing that I've come to realize is that decorating never ends. Even if you get something today, you like this thing and you want to use it in your house, in the next 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, you might decide, I don't like it anymore, I want to change it. So decorating, really, it's an ongoing thing. So take your time, prioritize your living area and your bedroom, and for every other room you can always upgrade and do more things to decorate and furnish as time goes on. Another cost is appliance costs. You need a lot of appliances like fridge, freezer, washing machine, microwave, oven, and things like that. You really need to factor in all this also. I won't put a cap on it, because of course there are different brands and there are different pricing. So it depends on what you want and how you want your home, your kitchen to look like. So you need to do your research and know how much this will cost. But really, it can cost between 1,000 and 3,000 pounds for the essentials. So you might want to keep this in mind and also consider this while saving for your other costs. Another thing is the gardening equipment. So if you've got a garden, of course you want to keep it tidy. You might need lawn mower, tools. You might even want to hire a gardener or a landscape company to transform your garden. So if this is what you want to do, you should make your research also, know how much this will cost, and factor this in while saving for your new home. Another ongoing cost is the cost of security enhancements. Consider things like installing alarms, installing a doorbell, installing a security camera in your home. If this is something that you are interested in, that you will want to do for your home, then you really need to factor this in. And as you factor this in, also ensure that you're factoring in the cost of the people who will install it for you. That's if you don't want to install it for yourself. Now, taking myself as an example, I had reached out to a couple of handymen to help me with securing the camera doorbell for my home. However, when they told me the price, I was like, what's going on here? On top, say you want to help me to fix doorbell camera. I don't understand. So I got the needed tools and I had to fix them myself. So if you consider yourself a handy person and you feel you've got the time to learn on YouTube and be able to do it yourself, then you might not need to factor in the cost of handymen. However, if you want handymen to fix things for you, like fix your camera, fix your fridge, freezer, fix your washing machine and things like that, you've got to consider the fees that you're going to be paying to the handyman also. So for security enhancements, I would say it can be between 100 and 1,000 pounds, depending on how heavy and sophisticated you want the security to be. Another ongoing cost is for home improvements. Now this is not for everybody, at least for the next maybe 1 year, 2 years, 5 years after buying your home. You might decide you're not doing anything to your home. However, for some, they might want to improve their home, maybe like do an extension, do a loft conversion, or do some energy efficient upgrades like fixing solar panels. So if you've got this in mind, you need to know that it's going to cost you. So research and know how much this will also cost, and of course put some money aside for this. A good tip to note here is that while researching, you should actually check for government grants for energy efficient changes. Now let's move to the fourth segment in this video, and see this segment, even seasoned buyers, people who are not first-time buyers, they miss it sometimes. So in this segment, we are going to talk about costs that can easily be missed or overlooked. And the first on this list is management fees. See, this management fees is very, very common for new build estates. The builder or developer charges these fees for shared spaces such as parks, parking areas, and so on. Another overlooked cost is parking permits. There are some estates or some places where you need to pay for parking permits. So have this in mind. Make sure that you have your own designated parking space or driveway, because parking permits are required in certain neighborhoods. So be sure that you do not or do need a parking permit for your new neighborhood. Another important overlooked fee is bank transfer fees, and it ranges between 20 to 50 pounds depending on how many times you will be transacting with them. And these fees are usually for transferring your deposits. So transferring your deposits from your solicitor to the seller's solicitor. So it is worth confirming with your solicitor whether or not they are going to be charging you for these fees. And the next on my list is unexpected repairs. See, anything can happen at any time, so it is good to always have, like I've said earlier, emergency funds or just funds for repairs, such that when anything happens and you need to repair anything, you need to repair a leaking tap, you need to repair your boiler, you need to repair just whatever, you have a fund somewhere that you can pull into and then use for such repairs. It's good to always budget for surprises, you know, like a broken window or plumbing issues or, you know, anything like that. The truth is, if you're a first-time buyer in the UK, there are a lot of things that you need to know. There are a lot of things that you need to learn about before venturing into buying your first home. And in this particular playlist, I have put together everything you need to know from A to Z as a first-time buyer in the United Kingdom. So click on it to learn more about being a first-time buyer in the United Kingdom, and I will see you there. Please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and share this video with somebody.